Hello, everyone. This is Josh Oakes with the SmartSocial.com podcast. You're either watching us on YouTube, on SmartSocial.com, listening to us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or anywhere else, and I'm honored that you're here. As you know, we help kids be safe online and to shine online at SmartSocial.com. We have a plan for your family, and that is to use technology in a way that makes you feel comfortable, even though there is so much coming at you, that you have a simple plan. Today, I have a mom of 8 kids who's been featured on Today.com. I am so honored to feature her today. We're going to learn from her. She is the expert. There are no experts. There's leading learners, but she's probably the closest to an expert you're ever going to meet because she's doing it every single day. Today, I have Kristen Gambasini here today from Medina, Ohio. She is amazing. She's my hero. Kristen, welcome.
Oh, no. Hi.
I am so honored to have you here today. Now, you got picked up on Today.com. You got an awesome article written. You're a blogger. You're a mom. Some would call you a mom blogger. I'm going to call you an influencer because you have a website called perfectlydistressed.com, and your blog titled "Your Phone is Not Your Property and Other Screen Time Rules I Give My Kids" got picked up by Today.com, and it has been shared a lot. Now, talk to us about some of your tips. Tell us what it's like to be a mom of 8 children.
It's not, you know what, it's funny. It's not as crazy as it sounds. I mean, we definitely have crazy days, but it's not quite like what it sounds. We actually have it pretty well under control here, but it's amazing. It's amazing. Never a dull moment.
Amazing. All right. So you've got kids that run the gamut from 19 years old to 18 months.
Yes, I am in every season of childhood right now. Every season. I've got infant, I've got elementary school, middle school, and, teenager and adult. I'm in every single stage of motherhood.
Wow. Okay, so you wrote a great article. It has a couple tips. It has a bunch of tips. Number 1, talk to us about around the dinner table. What do you tell your kids?
There's no electronics, and that goes for adults too. I mean, that's my husband and I. We still believe in eating at the dinner table every night together. Obviously, the older they all get, the harder that's going to be. But for right now, we do it every single night, and there's just no reason for there to be electronics. We talk, and I think that's important. I think everybody is busy, and in this day and age, everybody has so many activities, but for us to take that time it should be 20 minutes, but when kids don't eat their vegetables, it's like 40 minutes, but whatever. It's like for us to take that time together and sit is so important. It's such an important part of our day.
That's amazing. All right. So that's tip 1 you wrote on Today.com. No phones at the dinner table ever. Number 2, what do you tell your kids during homework time?
I mean, honestly, there's kind of it's a rule that your phone needs to just be on the counter and you don't need it. If you need to use the internet for your homework, that's totally fine, but that's the final thing that you do. So what I have them do is do all the homework that they need, that they can do without internet access. And then at the very end, okay, now let's do what we need to do on the internet. And typically I actually have them use the home laptop before I'll have them use their phones, just because I feel like there's less of a chance of them being distracted, because concentrating on homework is what they're supposed to be doing. So if they're doing it on our home computer, then they're really truly only looking up what they need to look up for school, and they're not texting or doing really anything else other than what they're supposed to be doing.
Okay, so game time. Do your kids play Fortnite?
They do, but we are actually in the minority where they say that they're the only kids in Ohio that have this rule, according to my children. But we do not play video games unless it's Saturday or Sunday. And that's after you've done your chores. So I think if you were to do a chart of where video games, the importance of them in our house, I think it would be pretty low down for my husband and I. We don't see the necessity of it. And we can't even imagine, I don't know how we would even do our day-to-day functions and add video games into that during the week. That just seems crazy to me. So they do play video games, but it is only on the weekend, and it is only after that it's an earned thing around here is what it is. So you've done your chores, now you've earned some video game time.
Yeah, you say it's game time is an earned commodity. They only play after the completion of their responsibilities.
Yes.
Okay, this is my favorite part. You have an alarm on everybody's phone throughout the house that you require. Tell us what does that alarm mean? What time is it, and what days is it?
Okay, so Monday through Friday, I have the most annoying, loudest alarm I could find on their phones, like the ones that make you cringe when they go off. And in big, bold, capital letters, it says, phone time's over. Give your phone to mom and dad, and it goes off at 7:30, and you can hear it. It's like you can hear all of the 7:30 comes and all these alarms in the house go off, and it's a conversion, and everybody brings their phones in, and they go in our bedroom in our charging station, and then we're done for the night. We've kind of checked out for the night. You can read, you can color. I mean, truly, you can anything, but not on your phone.
Wow. Okay. So, first of all, every parent that's listening, watching all over the world, this is a parent that's parenting her kids. She loves them more than she worries about them liking her. I'm sure that causes some pain and some frustration. Am I wrong?
Oh, no, it's especially the older they get and the more they're exposed to their friends and they start talking about what rules maybe their friends might have at their house. My 13-year-old, I remember him coming home one day and saying, Mom, why can't I just charge my phone in my room? Everybody else gets to keep their phone in their room. Well, because this is the house you live in, and these are our rules, and this is what we've decided upon. And it's for so many different reasons. I mean, you can go into the safety aspect when you talk about the cords and catching fire, all the way to, I need to know at 7:30 that everybody is off electronics.
Yeah.
And by me having those phones in my room, and by charge station, I use that term very loosely. It's essentially an extension cord is what it is. It's an extension cord.
Strip?
A power strip, thank you.
With a bunch of plugs in it?
It's a power strip in our room, and that's our charging station.
Yeah.
And it's what works for us. And I think I really tried to express that in the post, is that, our rules are what works for us. It might necessarily be, it's not going to work for everybody. But I think with parenting, isn't that what you do? You take what you know, but then you adjust it to fit what works for your house, for your family. So it seems extreme, but everything I do, I think, is probably going to be on the extreme end when it comes to parenting, because I'm parenting so many more kids than the average person.
I love you. I just got to tell you, I think you're amazing. Okay, so 7:30 p.m. for everybody that's listening, the 7:30 p.m. alarm means electronic hours are over and your phone must be turned in to the phone tablet basket immediately. No excuses, no exceptions, you write. I firmly believe children need time away from electronics before bed to help turn their smarticles off for the night. What are smarticles?
I think when you're a mom, you start to get these phrases that you use in the house, and they become words in your home. And then when you introduce them to the outside world, people are like, what? What is that? So it's just turning, we use smarticles in our house as a way to say, like, your brain, your thinking, your smarticles, your head itself.
That's great. You keep the charger in your room. Seriously, go read a book, kids. I love that. Yes. And okay, so that's amazing. 7:30 p.m. That's so good, so great. Now, next, no phones in the morning until you have fully, completely prepared yourself for what?
For school. My husband and I refer to them as phone zombies, because what happens is they get on their phones and the entire outside world all of a sudden is like non-existent, and they're immersed in whatever it is that they're doing. And you can try to talk to them. It's like nothing else is happening. And they were getting in this routine where they would eat breakfast and then sit on the couch with their phone And then all of a sudden, they're supposed to be going out to the bus. They don't have their shoes on. They don't have their coats on. My husband's, taking them and dropping them off to school. Then he's late to work. And we just decided we're done with that. We are done with that. So the rule is you don't need your phone until you're walking out the door. Now, a lot of people, I try not to read comments when I'm picked up on larger sites like the Today Show. And I was reading some of them, which was my first error. But a lot of them were saying, why even give your kids phone at all if you don't trust them to have it? Here's my issue. Number one, how are they going to learn to have one and use it the right way, what I feel like is the right way in the house if they don't have it? Number two, it is a safety issue for me. My kids have after-school sports, after-school activities. I feel more comfortable with them having a phone so they can contact me. But most importantly, it's like anything. How do you trust them to use a knife? You got to teach them how to use the knife, or else they're never going to know how to cut their food. If I'm always cutting their food for them, then they're not going to know how to do it themselves. To me, it's very much like that. And electronics are very much a part of their life. They're encouraged in the schools. They're encouraged to use in different aspects. There is almost always some sort of assignment that requires them to get on the internet after school. So for as much as it seems like, well, the easy solution would be to just not give them one, I don't feel like that's the easy solution. I think the easier solution for me is to allow them to have it and to learn how to respect it and to learn how to not let it rule their life, because there is so much going on around them. So back to the mornings, they literally, we set the rule. You don't pick it up until you're on your way out the door. You need to make sure you're ready for school. They were running late. It was raining. It was cold. They missed the bus. They walked back home to tell me they missed the bus. Luckily, the bus picks up really, really early. And I looked at them, I said, we got plenty of time to walk. And they had to walk to school because they knew they missed the bus because they were on their phone when they shouldn't have been. And I can't sit there and babysit them the whole time. I was with the little ones. I was doing stuff upstairs, and they were in middle school, so they knew, and there was no argument. They walked to school. And that night when we were sitting at dinner, my daughter just casually mentioned how it really wasn't that great to show up to school with her hair soaking wet. And they never did it again. They never did it again. They've not missed the bus since. And that was the beginning of the school year last year.
I love it. Good for you. You are amazing. Okay, I want to walk everybody through an idea that we have. And Kristen, I'd like your input on this. We are creating 200 videos this year to tackle 200 of the biggest problems on safety, resume building, keeping kids behaving positively online. This is a tough, tough thing. I'm going to share with you my screen and show you a slide that we developed so that we can at least take a peek at it. So This is, when should I give my kids a cell phone? And I came up with a thing, be honest. Age 0 to 10, no phone. This is a menu that parents can, 10 to 13, flip phone, SMS if you have to have it, if parents are divorced and spouses and they need to communicate. 13, safety contract. Your parents pay for the phone, they pay for the plan. This is what's going to happen if you do something wrong. 14, smartphone without the apps, so training wheels. Some parents are doing this a lot earlier, that's fine. But 15, smartphone with social media apps, so your kids can be kids a little bit longer.
I love it.
Tell me, where am I wrong?
I love this. And let me tell you, we do not allow the kids to have social media. My 19-year-old just like 2 months ago downloaded Facebook onto his phone. But I think he was to the point where he didn't even really want it anymore because it was kind of like not as cool as it used to be. Mm-hmm. But I'm a firm believer that social media is, it's an adult platform. And I've said it before in my blog. I think the biggest problem, the biggest issue, and the reason why I don't think they need social media is because it's one more access into their lives. When I was a kid, girls in middle school, girls in high school, they get catty, there's fights, there's arguments, feelings get hurt. I got to go home and I got to turn that off. I got to kind of decompress from that. I spent time with my family. I spent time away from all that. You go in the next morning and you're kind of refreshed, right? You've got that charge from just being at home in the safe place with the people who love you. And then you go to school and you think, you know what, it's not that big of a deal, right? The problem is there's a lot of these kids are not turning it off. There's no off point. The bullying or whatever mean comments, however you want to say it, whatever word you want to give it, there's no off point anymore. And I think that's one of the biggest problems. They need to turn that off. Kids are going to be kids. Things are going to happen at school. Feelings are going to get hurt, especially in those middle school years. But they really need that time away. And that's why I tell my kids, I just don't see the need for social media. And I let them I let them tell their case. My biggest thing with my kids is if they truly believe they need something in their life, and my husband and I feel like they don't, they are allowed to present their idea to us. And by present, I mean they have to write down the points of why this is important to them. They have to write down, it's basically like a report that they have to present to us to tell us, why do you feel like this is so important in your life? Why do you need this? And a lot of times it not only gives them an opportunity to express themselves and to be heard, but it gives my husband and I an opportunity to maybe present our case in a different way based off of what they feel is so important. So my oldest gave us a presentation. He was trying to convince us of why he needed Snapchat, why he had to have it.
How old is your oldest?
13. Well, he's my second oldest. He's my oldest right now that's, at home. He's 13. And it was, all the reasons were truly heartfelt to him, why he felt like it was such an important app to have. But it really gave my husband and I an opportunity to see it from his point of view.
Yep.
And also to let him know why we still don't think it's a good idea, but maybe instead of just because we told you so, we were able to kind of present it in a different way. He got heard, we were heard. And I tell my kids all the time, you're never, if I have made a decision, I'm always going to be the winner because I'm the mom.
Yeah, so and I love that you're making them, they're coming up with a little one-page business plan as to why. Rationally, you're treating your kids like an adult. They have adult repercussions, and they can present anything to you. We want to play video games all day Saturday. How is that going to get your chores done? Show me your game plan. I mean, they can
exactly
almost anything, and you're going to laugh. You go, that's neat. Try again. Let's refine this business plan.
And it's not always no. I mean, sometimes we give them props and we say, you know what? We're going to let you have this one. That was a really good presentation. I'm sold. Ice cream for dinner it is, or what?
Yeah, I mean, they now, I want you to talk to me about this. We come up with a plan for every family all over the world. And by the way, just a quick stop, just a quick note. What you're doing is amazing, and I just got off the phone, and I got off the phone with a school in another country that speaks Spanish. It was in Spain, and I've never spoken overseas. I've never gotten paid. I am dedicated to the United States right now. I'd love to go overseas. It just doesn't make sense. I've always said, if I'm dedicating my life to protecting children, we're just going to do this with what you can do and put the rest on video and help people. But this school is going through the exact same problems. And we had a call with Kenya where they're using our videos. Kids all over the world have these same problems. What you, the listener, the viewer today are going through is not unique. Yeah, you might want to give in certain areas. You might look at Kristen as like, oh, she's got it different. No, these problems are all over the world. In Ohio, in Los Angeles, in the southern part of Spain, right next to Gibraltar, in Kenya, in South America, they're all the same. Every child is wanting more. It doesn't know how to manage this. They are low on the wisdom scale until you give them common sense, until you teach them how to manage it. I want to talk to you real quick. Kristen, set me straight. What do you think about our when should my student be on social media? We believe strongly that 0 to 13, your students should be private. We should not be able to Google them and find anything about where your student is located, where you live, what you do, where if your kid is at a certain Starbucks. we protect your kids from the predators. But 13 years old is time to have a family discussion regarding what should eventually be discoverable, so that 14 and 15, your family can start thinking about a resume and post positive volunteer photos and accomplishments and projects, a website. So it starts resume building. What do I want to be known for? What are the 2 to 3 things? Projects, passion, and people. And what do I want to be known for? So that by the age of 17, when your kid is applying to college, they should be able to find a positive online footprint of your student. Maybe their Instagram. Snapchat does not help your kid get into college. I'm sorry. It's not discoverable. It's not in our green zone. But Instagram does, and LinkedIn does, and a personal website does. Those 3 things, and a personal website, by the way, we have a whole program, Kristen, that teaches a kid how to develop their website. My 5-year-old nephew has a website because we built it for him. Instead of an iPad time, we built a website with him that's gentle, that's all about the things he loves, and it'll grow with him. What do you think about this? Is this too lenient? Is this too conservative? What is it?
No, I mean, I think it's great. And like I said before, I mean, I think that to have a general guideline and people could say, they're going to look at this and they're going to go, okay, maybe I'll start with this. And then as your children grow, you kind of adjust to fit your needs. Personally for us, we think 17 is the age for social media.
Yeah. So
and I know 17, that's extreme. I'm saying that and knowing that is extreme. I know that we are on the far end of the spectrum when it comes to that. But again, I think you touched base with this before. I don't care whether my kids think I'm cool or whether they like it or not. I don't. In a household like this with so many people, we have 10 people living in a house. And actually, our house was originally built for a family of 4, the mom, the dad, and the 2 kids. So we're the second owners, and we've made it work. We don't mind close living. But in a house like this, our rules are our rules, and you have to follow them. And that goes for company. That goes for kids that come over to hang out with my kids. And I think that the simpler we make it, the easier it is for everybody to just follow along and remember what it is. Now, I say 17 because I said before, I've seen, my oldest is 19, so I've seen all the stages with him, and yet I'm going through them all again. Over and over and over. My life is like Groundhog's Day. Like I just relive the same thing. But there is so much going on in schools. There is so much responsibility. There is so much competition. There are so many testing. Like the tests are insane. And the older they get, the heavier the load gets. And in my mind, adding social media onto that just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. And I have to also say, when he was probably, I think he was 14 or 15, he had downloaded a game onto his phone, and you got extra points if you connected your Facebook app. You got extra like money or points on this game. And he downloaded Facebook, and I knew right away because we checked his phone, we do that. And he knew instantly. It was like immediately he knew, like, I messed up. He lost his phone. He lost his phone for an entire month, which I have to say, sometimes that's more of a burden on the parents than it is the child. Because there were times when we'd be like, what time is that meeting over? Maybe you'd have 2 things going on after school, and it would be like, oh crap, we can't call him because we took his phone away.
Yeah.
But he never did it again. And and the reason he did it was innocent enough. It was a very childlike decision that he made. He wanted those points for his game, so he opened up a Facebook account. The reasoning behind it, in his mind, it was we could use that, like, listen, this is why you're not ready for it. You opened it up so you could get points for a game. You don't even understand what the platform is used for. And here he had like, he didn't even realize his account was not private, and he had like 5 or 6 people from another country that were like friends with him. And I'm like, can we just start with this as a base as to why this is absolutely not okay? Like, look at, you've had it for less than 24 hours, and look already, the potential of danger of things that have happened.
Yeah. And that's good. You opened a dialogue. It wasn't just, or take it away. You showed them.
No, because you can't, again, for us, it's a teachable moment. And yes, we were upset with him because he knew the rule and he broke it. But he was also, like I said, it was a very childlike thing that he did. I mean,
games are the games are gamifying your child into wanting to get more points. We are quantitative as humans. We're not qualitative. We're not like, oh, but the quality's great. It's no, I want more friends. I want more points. And even with credit cards, I'll be on a flight and they'll go, you get 60,000 more bonus points and miles to do on American Airlines to do this. And they're gamifying what we want, which is points, to get us to give them something. And that's exactly what they're doing with children these days. You get more points if you check in every day, if you add your friends. One thing we tell every parent never to let their children do, don't ever let it connect. Geolocation is one thing. You share your location, it's bad, but you can unshare it and go to a different location. You're private again. But do not ever upload your contacts to an app, because we don't know what they do with them. They can spam all of your contacts and say, Josh is inviting you to this app. I want you to download it. They can get hacked, all these things, and that they're gamifying. If you upload your contacts, you can make more friends and get more games. Another thing for everybody that's listening and watching to tell your kids not to do. You can never get your contacts back. They won't go, we deleted them for you. They just don't.
And that's so scary. That's so scary. I mean, just to think of, how many people have my number or have my son's number. I mean, it's a scary thought. And I think we talked about this before too. I think as a parent, the other thing that scares me with electronics is the fact that my children are learning about all of it at a faster rate than I am.
Yeah. Never before has this happened in time where kids are smarter about a subject than parents.
It's so true.
And this leads into our last tip. My theory is your kids are more learning faster because they have no ramifications of what could go wrong. So they're like, oh, of course I'll try this. A lot of grandparents will go, I might break it. I'm not going to try that. They have limitations because there's money involved. There's having to get a new one. They know it's their own money and they're like, oh, and they're scared. Kids are like, no, I'm just going to try it. They're entrepreneurial. God bless them. I love that. And that's what we need, is more what was the worst that could happen. And that's what kids are thinking. Mom will buy me a new one. And that's why they're always testing their limits. I'll just download it. I tried this and it worked, and they figure stuff out, and we love that. We need to harness that. But your last tip is, who owns the phone? Talk to us about what your last tip is, and who, your phone is not your property. Who does own it? Who pays for it?
And I mean, that's what it comes down to. We provided it to them. We paid for it. It's our property. We're allowing you to use it. But again, it's an earned thing. It's an earned commodity. At any point, we can decide that right now it's just not the right thing for you to have. Right now, maybe it's not the right thing for you to have in your hand. Right now, maybe you need to concentrate more on this and less on that. But the point being that, what do they own? Like, in this house, what do they own? Like, they own nothing. It's all stuff that we've provided for them as their parents. Yeah. And I'm not taking, their necessities away. And what's funny is when you talk about taking the phone, it's as if you're talking about taking away a necessity. But they realize really quick that it's actually something they can absolutely live without. But it's scary to me how upset they get at the thought of not having it. That scares me, because to me it's just a phone. To them, it's so much more. And as a parent, that I think a lot of parents feel that way. Like, gosh, it's this little tiny rectangle, and it holds power. It holds power over your child in so many ways, but it also, the power of the internet itself, and the power of other people to find your kid, or for horrible things to happen. And again, they have to learn how to use it, and they have to learn how to use it safely, because it's not going away.
Yeah. So I definitely think the internet is cocaine in their hands. I've never done drugs in my life. I have one beer from time to time. Like, I don't have a problem with that, but I cannot put my phone down sometimes. Kristen, I'm the first person on stage to say I have an inbox addiction, and I have to set the stage for this because no one's willing to it, and they laugh. I check my Gmail too much. It's just an honest thing, and I put it away, and I'm happier for the 3 hours it's in the other room. But guess what? Your kids don't have the wisdom that an adult does to know, whoa, my mind is, it's like a cocaine addiction where you're getting that morphine or whatever it is. And we cannot say no. If someone were to try drugs, it's very hard to go back and go, no, I will not stop. I'll stop doing that. But this is in their hands. And that's why they turn from zombies to I'm going to break down. So I definitely believe this is way more than a device. I think it's more than the internet. I think it's more than just, it's a game. This gives them a kick that doctors are coming out and saying this is exactly like the worst drugs in the world. And it keeps you from sleeping. I mean, it's just everything. So
yeah. But I think it's also, they learn by example, right? Isn't that something? I mean, that's something that's always been said, that they learn by example. They see and they do. So for me personally, I have to say, I had to catch myself too, because I was tucking them into bed at night, and then I was sitting in my bed and I was spending a countless stupid amount of time on my phone, and they would come in, maybe they'd have to get up and go to the bathroom, or they'd want a drink of water. And what would they do? They'd come in my room and they would see us sitting in our beds on our phones. Mm-hmm. And I realized I'm doing the exact, I'm telling them one thing, and then I'm turning around and doing another. So I myself started with that rule. And I look, the last time I look at my phone is sometime, and I can't say exactly, sometime between 7:30 and 8:30. And then my phone gets put down and I don't look at it again until morning. If they walk in the room, I'm reading a book, because I need that time off too.
Yeah.
It's just as addictive to adults as it is to kids. And I think, like you said, it's all that power in your hand, and it's tempting. It's tempting to just sit and waste so much time. You don't even realize how much time goes by and you're on it. So I think having these rules in our house, it's not only helped my kids, I think it's helped set a guideline for my husband and myself too, which is equally as important, just maybe in different ways.
You're modeling positive behavior. I love our time together here today. I want to give a quick shout out to David Kaufman, who introduced us, an awesome guy.
He is a great guy.
He's a superb human being in Medina, Ohio. I want to leave everybody else that's watching this with a tip, a next step, if you will. We made a free book for everybody, and I truly believe that there's a 3-step plan out there for every family that we've tried and tested. I made a book that you can download for free. It's called How to Navigate Social Media with Your Student. It's available via email. We'll email you the PDF. And I want to make it available for you. You visit you click the links below the podcast or anywhere in our bio, smartsocial.com newsletter. It's going to teach you how to know what your kids are doing online. Whether my kids aren't online, you don't understand, Josh, they're not allowed on social media. They're actually creating a little bit of a wake behind their boat, and it's all available on Google, and we teach you how to find that. Believe it or not, everybody's online without us knowing it or not, and even parents that keep their kids from social, there's ways to find them online. We're going to show you how to do that in a very wholesome way. Chapter 2, and this is a 5-page guide that's going to bring you up to speed, every single parent, and it's 100% free, how to get your kids off their screens. We have 20 to 40 of the best offline activities, a bunch of ideas that your kids can vote on, and you get outside and you have some fun. I really believe in being old school. I call every one of our customers. I believe in flip phones. I'm like an 80-year-old man, but I want to get your kids off their screens a little so that they then have ideas on what to put online when they're ready to be online, to create a positive portfolio of accomplishments, a little website so that they can shine online. The power of social media that we do for big brands is so amazing, because when they Google a big brand, up comes their website, their social media. They get to put their best foot forward. We make that available for you. We teach you how I get Googled so that I can get speeches all over the country. And I put my best foot forward by killing the internet with kindness, and it teaches you a lot of this here. You can download it by clicking the links below. Guys, I'm so thankful that you would listen to the podcast, that you would invite Kristen into your home so she can teach you a little bit more, and I hope that you'll click the link and do that here today. Kristen, I adore you.
Thank
And
you.
I want to thank you for your time today and all that you've done. Now, Kristen, we would love to help you. You know, we believe in building every student a website. If your 19-year-old ever needs help, we will help you because you're a part of our family now. You're our 101st episode on our
Wow.
thing. I would be honored to help you, and I want to tell you, I want to give you some ideas. We do believe in leaning into the internet a little bit on creating a resume. So we believe every student at the final year of high school, or a little bit later, and parents can adjust this. It's like a menu. You can order from it or not, or just leave it there and not eat that food. But we believe a student should have a Google site and their own domain. We have joshoaks.com, and it's a site that says Josh believes in teaching kids safety. He remodels his house and has fun with it, and he's a nerd. He can't play a musical instrument, but he can use a power tool, and he gives back to this kids program. So we believe every kid should have a passion, a purpose, and projects that they're sharing so that they are creating that little resume, and when they do get on Instagram someday, they are practiced, they are prepared to drive the car in a safe manner. I'm offering this to you. If you ever want us to work with your family, I would be honored to give you some of my time because you've given us your time. Everybody else that's listening, we do have a program that's positive. You go to smartsocial.com. If you join our Smart Social membership, which at the time of this video is $15 a month, you learn how to build a website with your kids. It's my 15-page guide. I walk you through it video. We have safety videos. We have a whole curriculum online that will ensure, or your money back, that your kid won't make a blunder. And we make sure that you know what all the bad apps are before they hit the news. The Text Me app is a new one. I taught it yesterday or the day before, and it's terrible. It lets you create fake numbers. Anyways, my offer for your family is to help your kids shine online. If you ever want that, we'll walk all your kids through that.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for your time today. All of you that are listening, thanks so much. You can visit smartsocial.com and use our free resources. Our parent app guides are used by around the world, 11,000 shares on our most popular list of 80 apps that your kids should avoid. And then it also has a starting place for them. There are 8 apps that we believe that are not safe, but they're a starting point. They are the knives that are the best used to basically start the cooking that is getting your kids online. But there are other ones that have a lot of downside. I hope you guys will take us up on that. And especially, I hope you'll download our free guide by clicking the link below in the podcast. I'll see all of you on the next episode. Remember, your kids are watching, so what you're doing online, make sure it's light, bright, and polite. We'll see you guys soon.